Mariam Barghouti is a young Palestinian journalist living in the occupied West Bank with a large following online. I asked her if her generation of Palestinians had lost the initiative by giving up the fight in the streets by taking the fight online.
It's not a question of giving up, it's more of what alternatives, what tools do we have left to utilize. It's a sense of exhaustion that's overwhelming. It's a frustration that's overwhelming Palestinians. It's not a giving up, and it's not a new eruption of angst and frustration with the occupation. It's a matter of Israel bringing in a new form of oppression with the support of the U.S. So it's a question of what can we do rather than we give up.
We're standing in front of a wall, the separation barrier between areas controlled by Israel and areas in the West Bank occupied by Israel, but also under the nominal control of the Palestinian Authority. How effective is the Palestinian Authority?
Well, the Palestinian Authority has over and over again proved itself inefficient. It has proved to be a subcontractor of the Israeli occupation. And this recent declaration by U.S. President Donald Trump proves how all the diplomatic routes, all the treaties, all the negotiations have been fruitless for Palestinians, and they have further alienated the Palestinian population.
But Mahmoud Abbas has been very vocal that he will not accept this decision. He's taking a stand at the OIC. He said this is a red line, so he's doing something, isn't he?
Right, but if you take into consideration the Al-Aqsa protests in the summer and how Mahmoud Abbas also stood in alignment with Palestinian demands, what happened afterwards was, the Palestinian Authority continued suppressing Palestinian youth who are active against Israeli occupation, and you've had this most recent declaration by Trump. So it shows you that any efforts from the Palestinian Authority will prove fruitless in the future because there is no real pressure being exerted on Israel.
Activists who were part of the first Intifada in 1987 say that your generation of Palestinians is lazy, that they're too involved on smartphones,
right,
activism, as opposed to getting out on the streets.
Correct. Okay, so the Palestinian youth have changed their tools of resistance. But it's not a question of laziness. It's a question that the dynamics have changed. During the first Intifada, you didn't have an apartheid wall. During the first Intifada, you didn't have a Palestinian Authority suppressing. You didn't have the extreme factional rivalry going on. And of course, you didn't have the Oslo Accords happening. So Palestinians were behaving and being pushed by themselves. They didn't have all these different modes of suppression on them, on top of the Israeli suppression.
Tell us what it means to be a Palestinian living in the shadow of this wall.
It's very difficult to explain. If I ask you to hold your breath and carry on your daily activities, you won't be able to. And that's what Palestinians have been doing. They've been slowly asphyxiated. They've been divided. Their identity is attacked with this separation of Palestinians in the West Bank from Palestinians in Jerusalem. Then you have this apartheid wall that looms over our daily lives, that reminds us that there is an oppression here, that there is an Israeli army here, that there is this occupation. It's so we don't forget it, and it's asphyxiating.
What about the role of women in this struggle? You are following in the footsteps of other women, Hanan Ashrawi, Diana Buttu, who have spoken on this issue. So tell us about the role of women, and especially in your generation as well.
Well, Palestinian women have always been a part of Palestinian resistance. You'd go back to the first Intifada, to the 1936 revolts. The making it seem as if it's an anomaly or it's new or it's exclusive that women are part of the struggle is an injustice for the struggle. We are an intricate part of society, and we have been here and we have been struggling, and it's not new. So we're fighting just as the entirety of Palestinian youth and the Palestinian population is fighting. It's not exclusive and it's not new.
Mariam Barghouti, thank you so much.
Thank you.